Now, let's get in the second part now, where I get even more serious. Oh boy, how can that be? Well, some of us are very brainy. Yeah, some of us really like,
Cerebral.
Cerebral, thank you. Yes. So I'm just going to have to tell you, like, I've shown you kind of emotionally what laughter, how you can transform the life of people. Now I'm going to have the help of 3 people to tell you about laughter healing, how laughter can actually heal you. Like, really, this is science. So Norman Cousin is like the first unofficial person who actually did an experience on himself on using laughter to cure the disease he was going to die. His book is very easy to find, and there's even a movie that's on YouTube you can find with Lou Asner playing his role of his life story. So we're going to meet him. There's a small video of him. Madame Kataria, who 20 years ago put together laughter yoga. So we're going to see a bit of him. And a real scientist, the real science about how can laughter, more than just changing our mood, can actually heal our body. Well, isn't that beautiful? Now, this is contemporary art. This is the meaning of nothingness and emptiness, but at the same time, the universe is your full potential. Thank you. It's $100,000 if you brought your checkbook. Okay, so that didn't work. Let's see. Now, it's going to be this one.
Dr. Norman Cousins was the first person to actually bring to light the beneficial healing effects of laughter. Dr. Cousins had a disease called ankylosing spondylitis. At that time he was the editor of the Saturday Review. So one day when he heard his doctor saying we're going to lose Norm, he decided that he was going to prove his doctors wrong. He checked into a hotel, took lots of multivitamin supplements, went on a healthy diet, and watched tapes of Candid Camera on the television set, and literally laughed himself into a cure for his disease. He published the article of his recovery in the New England Journal of Medicine, which was the first time that the prestigious medical journal actually published an article by a non-physician. Now, as usual, we are trying to understand the mechanism by which laughter heals. The tears of laughter have a completely different chemistry than the tears of sorrow, and yet they're both tears. Then the molecules of emotion that are secreted are very different than the molecules that you experience in, say, ordinary states of consciousness, or serious states of consciousness, or stressed or depressed states of consciousness. And these molecules of emotion, they're called neuropeptides, and they actually latch on to the immune system, and they affect the activity of the immune system in a healthy direction. So there's a lot to say for that phrase, laughter is a good medicine.
To another doctor who wanted to consult on the case, for the first time I realized that he thought they might lose me. And then I realized I had some responsibility. I had to get interested in this thing. There was one book that I had read, 2 books in fact, that might have had a bearing on the case. One was a book by Hans Selye on stress. My wife went to the library and got the book, and there I found it, and, where he talked about the problems of adrenal exhaustion, especially combined with invasion, and the problem of corticoids, and there I was seeing my symptoms. His theory, of course, was that the body undergoes negative chemical changes as the result of negative emotions. The negative emotions being fear, frustration, stress, suppressed rage, of which I had a fair share. And then it seemed to me that if the body on the negative side develops a negative chemistry, it stood to reason that on the positive side, it would produce a positive chemistry. Well, what were the positive emotions? Love, hope, faith, laughter. And not all of these were beyond my reach. And so I informed my doctor that I was going to we were going to leave the hospital because I realized that the hospital may have certain virtues, but it's no place for someone to be sick in. It just doesn't give you the repose that you need.
And the positive value.
Yes. And so I made some interesting discoveries. I had plenty of hope and plenty of love. As for laughter, this is something that was not beyond my means. And at night, we showed some of the funniest films that we could rent. And I made the very interesting discovery that 10 minutes of good belly laughter would give me 2 hours of pain-free sleep. And I got rid of the painkillers, the codeine, the sleeping pills. They were giving me 6 aspirin a day. And I got rid of that and went with the things I believed in. And as I say, I discovered that laughter did produce a natural body anesthesia. It was a very exhilarating discovery.
So this idea that laughter actually physically transform your body, that's something we talk a lot about. We talk about laughter to change your mood, just lighten up. But actually, what we're discovering here is that actually it's more than just that. It's actually physically changing yourself. So let's see if I'm going to make Kataria work. Oh, okay. So it's a diptych, and that's the other end of the universe. So that's another $100,000. So I can make a special for you if you want. So.
If we buy both?
Well, about both, I could make it.
Make us a good deal on that?
$199 and $95. So, yeah. So now we're in India with Dr. Kataria.
And these benefits being
John
studied in
Cleese
India by
from
a doctor
Monty
who
Python.
was obsessed by the idea that laughter really is the best medicine. And he organizes groups that meet every morning just to laugh.
It's been proved by scientific studies that laughter helps you to unwind the negative effects of stress, and also it boosts your immune system. And all these minor symptoms of cough, cold, sore throat and infections will go down significantly.
We do lassi laughter. Please, you have to drink lassi.
In laughter exercise, we do start the fake laughter, as a kind of forced laughter. But when you laugh in a group, you have a good eye contact, it turns into real. So half of it is fake and half of it is real.
But does it matter from the point of view of the benefit?
Same set of happy chemicals are released whether laughter is forced or whether laughter is real.
So the body doesn't know the difference?
Yes, that's incredible.
Yeah. That is so weird.
Yes.
So you can get away with it by faking it. You still get the good effect.
Yes, we have a slogan called fake it until you make it.
Secretariat's mission has led him to set up clubs in unusual places. He invited me to attend the first session in a Bombay prison.
The prisoners have a lot of stress, a lot of depression. They're away from the family and they have a lot of anger inside them. And laughter helps you to allay your anger feeling.
You got to do what? Ready? Start. Sitting here, I found myself wondering, do you really want villains to be having quite such a good time? And I remembered that people who are supposed to benefit from this are not just the prisoners, but also the prison staff. I'm struck by how laughter connects you with people. It's almost impossible to maintain any kind of distance or any sense of social hierarchy when you're just howling with laughter. Laughter is a force for democracy.
The man behind the Laughter Club is physician Dr. Madhavi Kataria. He came up with the idea after researching the medical benefits of laughing.
I went to a public park and told my friends I'm going to start a laughter club. And they started laughing at me. They said, "Doc, are you okay? Are you crazy?" I said, "No, let's try it out. Laughing is the best medicine, it's good."
They began by telling each other jokes, but after 10 days they ran out. So he came up with the idea of combining the laughter with yoga techniques to create a new form of exercise.
There is much evidence available that whether you laugh really on a joke, whether you laugh on something, our body doesn't know the difference. So same set of happy chemicals are released whether you laugh on a joke or just self-induced laughter.
Dr. Kataria's innovation has been so successful that it's even caught on among Bombay's business community. This is Electronics Products of India, and here they start the day with a laughter session. The session is led by the factory owner, and he's sure it's made for a happier workforce.
So when you come here, when you do this exercise, and when you let go something which is tension, your productivity improves.
The success of the Laughter Club movement has prompted scientists in America to start taking laughter seriously. At the University of California, studies have looked at the effects of watching a comedy video on the levels of stress hormones in the blood.
We took blood samples and we looked to see if indeed, as a result of these controlled intervention, classical medical experiments with human subjects, whether we were lowering key stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline.
They found that stress hormone levels were lower and that laughter was also boosting the body's natural killer cells.
Those are important immune cells because those cells go after virally infected cells and they kill tumor cells. Here, something as simple as mirthful laughter is able to upregulate, that is, increase their activity and be more effective as a result of humor.
Burke has spent more than 30 years studying how laughter affects what's going on in our bodies. Burke has found laughter decreases stress hormones, improves our immune system, and boosts endorphins. Those are the brain chemicals associated with the runner's high.
Exercise and its good effects on health have become widely known. I mean, I think that no one would disagree with that now. Is that where we're going to get with laughter?
I'm thinking we may get there with the same sort of prescription for laughter of maybe 30 minutes a day, 3 or 4 times a week, if not more.
It sounds like a pretty good prescription.
It's enjoyable.
In a year-long study of heart patients, Burke asked one group to choose half an hour of comedy daily. Some chose the sitcom Friends.
Given my lifelong search for irony, you can imagine how happy I am.
Others received the same medical care without the comedy. The group that laughed required fewer medications such as beta blockers and nitroglycerin. Most striking, over the 12 months of the experiment, only 8% of the group that laughed suffered a second heart attack, compared with 42% of the control group.
Now, if you and I discovered a medication that did that, we'd be on our way probably to Stockholm, Sweden.
You'd be getting a Nobel Prize.
Even the anticipation of laughter produces some of the same beneficial results, offering evidence of what Burke calls the biology of hope.
Laughter works as an agent on the body's stress hormones.
Stress hormones that suppress the immune system. So then when we decrease those stress hormones, we actually allow for the immune system to actually crank itself back up.
This group in Professor Burke's laboratory is watching the comedian Gallagher, and as they laugh, Dr. Burke takes a blood sample. And under the microscope, he finds something else. Laughter increases the number of natural killer cells in the immune system.
Now, I just stop it here. The last one is very important because laughter is used a lot for cancer patients. And there's been a lot of very positive results. So, like when you talk about the T cells, these are the ones that do attack cancer. So that there's something really specific here.
Natural killer cells go after and fight virally infected cells and fight tumor cells.
Tumors.
Dr. Lee Burke at Loma Linda University Medical Center divided 48 heart attack patients into 2 groups.
One had regular cardiac rehab, and the other group had cardiac rehab, but they were told to watch 30 minutes at least of humor every day for a full year.
They watched Laurel and Hardy, the comedian Gallagher. Whatever tickled their fancy. The result?
In other words, there was only 2 recurrent heart attacks in the group that watched the comedy movie compared to 10 in the group that didn't watch the comedy movie.
The key is what doctors call negative stress hormones. Okay, let's pretend for a minute this guy's a little stressed out. According to Burke, that's caused by the brain sending a signal to the pituitary gland somewhere in here. That produces a stress hormone, which in turn sends another signal to the adrenal gland somewhere down here by the kidneys. That also produces a stress hormone. Now, what Burke has proven is that when we laugh, somehow the signal between the brain and those 2 glands gets blocked. Dr. Burke says Mel Brooks
has given unto you these 15
delivers the right kind of humor.
10 commandments.
I like
Burke warns, not all humor will do the trick.
Humor that is demeaning or derogatory, that makes fun of other people. It doesn't elicit the type of biology in the body that we experience with a merry heart.
So, a lot of information there, but I think, let's go back to this one. Many things you can take from that is, well, as Kataria said, if you fake it, it's as good as if it's a real laugh. Okay, so it's something physiological that's happening. Also, that negative humor won't do the benefits in the body also. So it's not just laughing in itself, it's about playfulness, it's about happiness, you know, in a positive way. Okay, so laughter yoga. Well, it makes you happy because adrenaline and diminished stress. They spoke about Hans Seeley. Who knows about Hans Seeley? Yeah, did he live in Montreal or?
I think he was connected.
He was connected to Montreal somehow. Did a lot of research. So he's the one who put the word stress on the map, defined it. Hans, I don't know how to say his name, but Seeley, Cellier. Thank you. You know. So if anything, so far, it's like stress will diminish your natural body's potential to heal itself. As a friend of mine was saying yesterday, you know, it's not the medical or the outside force that heals you. It's actually your own self. So what do you do that actually are going against your natural body? So endorphin is very good for happiness. Breathing, oxygenation. Okay, so you get more air. Most of the time when we breathe, we always have at least a quarter or 25% of our air that never changes. It's always stuck there. And it's when you laugh, it's actually muscles. And the deeper the laughter, then actually the muscle that's why often when you laugh very hard, you can't stand anymore. Okay, because your body is actually, it's your muscles are cracking up, they're cramping, they're busy, so you can't really stand up straight. Okay, so it's very good, and oxygen is about cleaning in your body, getting rid of the waste, so that's extremely important. We talk about the anticorps, the killer cells. Dopamine, so same as chocolate or love, you can say. Laughter, hypertension because it's relaxing. Massage, so it's you're actually massaging inside yourself through laughter.
Inner jogging.
Huh?
Inner jogging.
Inner jogging, they say. There's even some website about losing weight with laughter yoga, which really?
Yeah.
Yes, because it's true. I mean, when you do laugh a lot here, you feel it afterwards. The first time I did laughter yoga session, and I always go deeply in whatever I do. I was in full sweat, after half an hour, just because I just let loose. So when you really go for it, it's a big workout. Lymphocyte, hemoglobin, sleep, of course, like any other exercises. Tonus, again. I'm a singer also. Singing in choir is very good for your diaphragm, for your posture. Okay. So it's mental, but what we've seen before is actually there's some physical about your hormones, tumor cells, and it's just oxygenation, muscles, and not so much reinforce, but let loose your autoimmune system. Okay, it's about our stress and our ideas are putting down our immunity, and actually when you let loose, actually your immunity is able to get back up again. Let's see what we have here.